Just checking it out. Hold on. I'm just checking if the stream is fine. All right, we're good to go. All right. So, hi everyone. This is Aniket D'Souza, and in today's Tuesday Talk video, I'm going to talk to you about um, everything that's there to do with conversion ads, primarily conversion ads from a perspective of what are conversion ads and how do you actually have to think about them. Because what I'm going to take you through is based on my experience over the years, some of our clients that I've actually managed, and right from the time when conversion ads actually started, what were our experiments and how did it fare, and what actually led to the growth of actually driving numbers and sales and stuff like that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to cover today. So let's just head over to the deck that I have. I've got a 3 slider deck, simple. It's just for your concept and just to basically give you a gist of how most of these ads are set up, so that you get an idea on that front. So let me just shift on to the screen. All right. So this is what I have for today. Let me just look at. Let me just take you through the slides. So yeah, this is basically the overall. This is the consumer funnel. This is something that you learn in your marketing classes. But what you see on the right is something that I've created over a period of like about 6 years. And I've actually put in all the things that come in different spots during the funnel. So obviously there are social media ads that you can use at different parts of the funnel, but parts of the funnel purely means communication, right? So these are basically stages of communication, but you can reach out with social media ads across the funnel as well. But in order to give you a deeper understanding with the way how conversion ads work, is it's primarily based on setting up a trigger, right? So your trigger can be the amount of sales you want on your website. Your trigger can be the amount of video views you want on a video that's on your site, right? Or your trigger can be something that is like, let's say you want people to come to a specific page, or you want people to add product to cart, or you want new leads, or you want new applications for your college. It could be anything, right? So basically it means that it's a trigger, it's an event that's happening on your website, and you want to basically make sure that you can reach out to more people through a series of algorithmic based targeting. So we are looking at making sure that I want to target more people who are more likely to perform this particular task on my website. And that's where conversion ads actually came in. So typically when you run an ad campaign, whether it is on, let's say, whether it is on any of the portals out there which are the publisher sites, you're actually running it from, it's more like, you just blanket targeting a certain audience, and you're assuming that this is the audience that you want to target, and then you just blanket advertise to this particular audience based on your selection. But conversion ads are work very differently. Conversion ads primarily focus towards based on triggers, based on certain events, and it targets to those people who are more likely to actually fulfill that for you, or fulfill that event, or are ready to kind of fulfill that event. Now typically what happens is, in order to do that, um, it needs data, right? So the ads, let's say you're running conversion ads, and they actually require data to actually get started. So let me just switch back anyways. So you actually need data to kind of so the conversion ads need data to get an understanding, saying who are the ones who are coming to, and who are the ones who are actually converting, or actually basically performing that particular event. Now, like I said earlier, this event can be a sale, or can be a purchase on your site. It can be anything to do with a lead leads, or a form that is being filled on your site. It can be a video that is watched. It can be a product which is added to cart. so you can target all people who are adding product to cart, and you want to, let's say, increase the number of people who are adding the product to cart. So it's basically these triggers or these events, and that's what conversion event means, right? And what you can do is you want to make sure that if you want to target those people who are more likely to add your product to cart based on certain kind of data that you've identified, saying that, okay, number of people who added, if I increase my add to carts, my purchases automatically increase. So if that's analysis that you've derived, then you can actually run an ad that's specifically targeted to increase those add to carts, right? So that's something that you can do. But it's the same thing with, let's say you have a college or a school, and you want to kind of increase the number of applications. So you would want to basically drive these, use these conversion ads in order to actually drive them. Now let's look at how it works, because it's not something that it will work just like that, or it might work for you and then it just disappears, right? So it's happened to us. This is something that happened to us. Let me give you a bit of background. Um, it happened to us when conversion ads initially were launched on Facebook, and when it did happen, um, it was like discovering fire, So let me give you an instance. When we actually started with conversion ads, we had a number that is, like, you can say, like around like the numbers were in single digits, and that just jumped to like a double digit number and a triple digit number, and that's basically how it went. So that's how conversion ads basically took us to the next level. Now I'll give you a bit of background. It's not the budget that we increased. We did not increase the budgets. We just allocated a small portion of the budget that we had towards conversion ads, and it worked like magic. And when it actually did work like magic, because we were selling a product that was worth $2,500 when we were basically running our regular ads, like our traffic ads and all of these other ads that we used to run. We used to run them, and we had a conversion rate around somewhere around 1,200, 1,500, and that was and then it kind of came to around 900 or so. But when we ran conversion ads for the first time, the cost per acquisition came down to 45 rupees. We were selling it like cakes, and we were selling products that were worth 2,500 and 3,000 at 45 bucks, 49 bucks, 50 bucks, and in that range. And it was like we just discovered something like a whole new level. And this was initially when the conversion ads had just started. And I gave a call to my client, and he was like, what did you really do? I mean, how did all of a sudden these sales jump? And I said, we just activated a new campaign. We put a small portion of the budget as an experimental budget. And at that point of time, not much of reading was done when it comes to conversion ads, but we just had started it off. And he saying that, okay, let's do this. Let's put all our budgets there. And we did put it at least for the next 2 days before we realized that we were back to 1,900. So, and that's when I actually, kind of try to learn. We try to experiment and try to learn more about how conversion ads work. And I actually came up with, and I actually started speaking to a lot of people, and we kind of derived to one of the ways of how conversion ads work. And this is something that I want to actually take you through today. In today's episode, it's about how these conversion ads work and how you need to think of them, because they're not going to be there or they'll not work for you forever. It's more to do with how it works now and how can you take it to the next level. So let's look at that. I'm going to shift again back to the deck that I've created. And this is basically, so I hope you can see my screen. Yes. Okay. So this is, hi Karthik. All right. So this is basically how the tree is. So imagine that this is your business and this is your consumer base, and your consumer base is across this tree, and you're like, okay, you know what, there are lots of fruits out here, let me just start getting them. Now when you basically start off with them, you're not going to go climb the tree and then you're going to pluck these fruits. And that's what typically most businesses do, right? So everybody looks at climbing up the tree and then start taking all the fruits from there. And this is usually done using a traffic ad, because the traffic ad targets the kind of a larger range. It kind of focuses towards, okay, this is my audience, this is this bunch or a cluster of fruits that are over here, let's go there. So you basically climb the tree, you go to a certain place, and you pluck them up, right? So conversion ads are very different. They work towards low-hanging fruits. So they first work towards the low-hanging fruit. So everyone who is more likely
to actually make a purchase is it comes under the conversion ads bandwidth, or comes under that particular range. So when you what you see over here is basically those fruits that are at the bottom of the tree. And what happens when you actually run them excessively? This is what happens, right? So this is what happens. So you basically clear out all that fruit, and the moment those fruits are cleared, it simply means that you need to put more energy. It simply means that if you're talking about putting more energy, it means that you're going to shell out more, because you need to now climb up the tree and then start targeting the mid level of it. And then you need to climb up further and then start targeting the next level of it, which is where this particular funnel comes. So you're actually clearing out all those people who are at your purchase level, or are looking at considering this your brand, and then you're starting to go into the other stages. So the idea over here, because this is how it generally works, is that you have to kind of have a mix of all these ad campaigns. You cannot be running just one set of ad campaigns. You cannot be running just conversion ads. You cannot be running just traffic ads, because for conversion ads to work, it needs more data, which means that the data will come primarily from the traffic ads, or from any ads that you run from anywhere. As long as there are people coming to your site from Facebook, and Facebook pixel can actually learn and try to basically understand how things work, that's when your conversion ad starts working. And that's basically the fundamental of how it works. So this is to give you an analogy, saying that this is something that I actually picked up, and I wanted to actually put this up in this particular format, so that it kind of helps you understand how conversion ads work. So typically what happens is you clear out the low hanging fruit, and once you're cleared out the low hanging fruit, then you have only the top one. So if you have to target the top one, you need to climb the tree. Else you need to wait, you need to kind of put money in your traffic ads, and then basically start bringing them out to the lower part of the funnel. And always remember, more energy in terms of climbing a tree, which means you're going to burn out more. But it also means that when you have a funnel like this, right, it means that you need to make people more aware of your product, and then you need to basically make sure that they come to your website, and then after that you move them into the next phase of purchase. So that's basically what I wanted to cover today. And like I gave you an example of a client that we had managed, where we went from 1900 to 45. We have had a series, we have had a lot of clients, we have worked in that same factor. Now for those of you who might be wondering, how do you basically split the budget, right? So you have budgets that are kind of put up. What we generally start off, and what I have always looked at starting off with, is generally a 50-50. At times we've seen that certain international markets work slightly different. They work like 60-40, 70-30. Some of majority of the time it's usually 50-50. But you can always start off, let's say if the brand is very new, then or it's very recent, it's like a new brand altogether, then the first thing that you actually need to do is to create awareness. You need awareness, you need make sure that people are recalling you and they know about you, and then you move them into, let's say, a familiarity set, and then you basically start driving traffic. So those are the first stages that you definitely need to have. So because even if you put money under conversion ads, it's not going to work. It's not going to work until Facebook learns, out of all the people who have actually come to your site, who are the ones that have actually purchased, right? And then it'll start making a profile of them and start targeting a profile in terms of multiple touch points, whether it is the kind of things they do, the kind of behaviors they have, the kind of sites they browse, all of that. And it's going to start basically accumulating and targeting your ads to those people who are more likely to actually make that purchase for you. And that's where conversion ads, and that's generally how conversion ads work. What Facebook needs, or the Facebook pixel needs, is it's how likely is someone who will come to your site and make that purchase. As long as the conversion pixel gets that idea, then it basically goes all blown. So that's what I wanted to cover in today's session. I hope you found that exciting. Please drop it in the comments. I have a question over here. Let me just have a look. Okay. Is it preferred to run conversion ads for a new website brand? When is the ideal time? So yeah, I think this is something that I answered just now. So when it comes to a new brand, I generally recommend, it depends on what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to actually create awareness, then ideally it's about making sure that you have a wide visibility, and you're trying to basically create run brand awareness ads, brand recall ads, making sure that people remember things, and also obviously start off with the traffic website, because you need more people to come to your site. Now, to give you a bit of understanding when it comes to traffic to your site, now it was also the reason why our cost per acquisition went from somewhere around 900 and 1200 to 45, is because for the past 6 months, the earlier 6 months or more, we had been actually running only traffic ads. So imagine and despite running traffic ads, we had also got the pixel on the site. So understand that there was 6 months of gap in terms of, for Facebook to understand the number of people who came to the site and the number of people who purchased on the site. So it had a huge database, or it had a huge bank in them, in terms of its knowledge graph, and in terms of its knowledge that it had acquired about our customers. So that's basically what it used to actually drive the conversions, right? So that's the beauty of it. But let's say if Facebook pixel, your pixel that you've actually installed, does not have enough data, then it's not going to help you much. So the goal is that you need to actually drive a lot of traffic to your site. You need to have a lot of traffic to your site. That traffic needs to convert at a traffic level itself, so that the conversion ads understand that this is the kind of a person who is more likely to make a purchase, right? And then that's when your conversion ads start working. So let's say you have at least about 10 orders to get started, so that the learning phase is complete. In terms of conversion ads, when you actually start off them, they actually look for at least like 50 orders before it kind of understands, saying that, okay, this is the kind of consumer that I need to target, because that's who will actually end up buying for this particular business. So if that's something that helped you, just make sure that you give me a thumbs up on the video, and I look forward to see you in the next session. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this video with your friends who might find this useful. All right, and